if that's your, if you have like a 600 or a 500, like you pay off the balance every month, it's not going to reflect on the credit report that your credit's improved. I don't see how that doesn't reflect positively. Can you kind of explain this a little bit?
Sure, and I'll keep it at 45,000 feet. We'll stay out of the bushes on it, but the big thing about debt.
I want to air quote that one.
Yeah,
debt and budget.
Debt, budget. But the big thing about debt is it is one of the biggest impacts on our ability to achieve the financial goals that we want and accumulate debt. Currently, the latest numbers are about 40% of Americans, so almost 100 million of us, don't pay our bills on time. About another 40% carry credit card debt month to month to month to month to month.
Year to year to year.
That then explains why over 60% of the American people that we survey say, and I'm not saving any money. The idea of utilizing credit is the double-edged sword. It's good. There's good credit, and there's bad credit. The idea of not paying off your credit card on a month-to-month basis, whether that's good or bad, is one of those age-old discussions that have been going on for years. The credit card companies, but more importantly, the credit reporting agencies, in terms of the formulas that they use, like to see that you are using a percentage of your open credit. One of the formulas they use to give you or to determine your credit rating is, well, Scott's got 10 grand of credit. What percentage of it is he using? You are, in essence, correct. If every month you're paying it off, the credit reporting agencies are saying, well, this guy's not using any of his credit, so
why give him more?
Why give him more, or why say he's doing a good job? Where someone that carries a balance of 25 or 30%, so if I have 10 grand, but I always have $2,000, $3,000 of utilization, of usage, the credit card companies, the credit reporting agencies see that as, Tiffany's a winner. She's using that Amex card. Good for her. It's very frustrating, not only for the consumers, because that formula is kind of a hidden formula, because your question is correct. Why is it if I'm using my credit responsibly, if I'm adhering to the contractual obligations that if you float me a loan for 30 days, I'll pay it back at the end of the month. Why does it seem that I am penalized? And the guy that's running up the credit cards, and my score is stuck at 648, but this guy has got a score of 10,000. Mm-hmm. That is an age-old discussion, an age-old frustrator for those of us in the industry. But to bring this to a close, I would encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. If you are in a position where at the end of the month or whenever you do it, you can eliminate that debt. Trust me, when you need money and you go to the bank or wherever you go to secure a loan and they see that you have zero debt, they're going to look at you much more favorably than the next person who walks in and has a tremendous debt load as it relates to their income level. Mm-hmm. So keep paying those credit cards off.
Awesome. Another thing that I'd like to point out is, so my son is a junior at a college here in Iowa, and it's $44,000 a year. It's a private school. So I took a pay cut and I went to work at this university because by working here, his tuition is free. And when he graduates next May of 2021, he will have no college debt. So he'll be setting up really nice. And I think I know a lot of people with kids that are $80,000, $100,000 in debt straight out of college. And that in itself can be, for your mental health, I'm speaking, it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's not going to be paid off until 2032.
Oh yeah, it is, and
seriously.
And now, now you've brought up, and we're hearing a lot of it, especially now as we roll into the election cycle, the student loan crisis, and it is. I have two daughters, both went to school, graduated, but both also graduated with tremendous student loan debt. And you're correct. It does put a kid who's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, depending on the level of education they've sought, behind the eight ball. Mm-hmm. When you step out and you have your degree in hand, but you also have a bill for $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 as you enter into, as my daughters like to call it, adulting. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're correct. And student loans, student loan debt, educational funding is a topic that we work diligently with our clients. The issue there, however, is most families wait too late. The idea of college and how are we going to pay for little Susie or little Johnny to go to college doesn't really come up until they're a junior or senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And it should be one of those life plans, one of those financial plans, part of your what we like to call your financial foundation that you want to begin to plan for little Johnny, little Susie's education when they're 2 or 3, not when they're 16 and 17, because again, right. you're starting way too late, and then the amount of capital, the amount of money that mom and dad have to be able to pour into it is just not available, and then the cycle begins. So now we have to fill out the FAFSA form and see how much I can get from here, and start looking for other sources of loans. And before you know it, we're $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt.
Right.
Well, Scott, thank you so very, very much for all the information and for your knowledge. Tiffany, thank you for all you do, ma'am. And
thank you for calling in.
I can't forget about you, Ed.
Can't forget about Ed. I know we don't say hi to Ed enough. I keep making that a point. Thank you so much for calling in. Yeah, you too. And it's time for our break. But before we go to break, I want to welcome callers to call in. This is professional advisor here, and he's giving his time, for free, and it's really appreciated. And it's something that we all face. So it's not isolated to any one socioeconomic discrimination, anything. We all need money. We all make money. We all have to survive and do it well and smart, not harder, So, welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. It's time for our break, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Do you ask yourself any of these questions? Will I ever be able to get out of debt? Will I ever be able to retire? How am I going to pay for my children's education? How do I begin saving for my family's future? And if something were to happen to me, will my family be taken care of? Have you struggled in finding the answers? Forever Forward Financial can help answer these and many more questions about your financial future by teaching you how money works, by providing you the financial education you seek, by assisting you in making the right retirement or educational decisions that are best for you and your family, and by helping you take the necessary steps in establishing and meeting your financial goals. Please call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. The number, 727-422-7761.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, Please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclarity.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclarity.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Hi, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we are ending the stigma on financial stress and mental health. We're taking
the first steps.
Well, that's what we need to educate and have more education on what to do to help ease the stress. And, suicides, divorce, all sorts of things happen because of financial burden. And so we want to be a good source and resource here and educate on how to ease that worry and some solutions and coping skills. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity my guest, Scott Bigley from Forward Forever Financial. I said it the right way.
You said it the right way. Yeah, that's good.
And welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. Scott's also a sponsor of Moments of Clarity and is here to not only donate his time, but he's offering a free consultation to anybody that wants some advice that's listening too. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But thank you so much, Scott.
You're welcome.
And so mental health is really tied into money. I mean, everybody either worries about money or, surviving or budgeting and there's that word again, but
right.
It's true. And,
you forgot the air quotes.
Yeah, the air quotes. Budgeting, their debt. And so it's something that we all need help with. And it's true. When we feel secure in our finances, things just seem easier all around in life when we don't have that base to worry about. So what are some things that you can think of, maybe some tips that maybe we could start doing right away?
Well, and you're right. You know the old joke, money isn't everything, but it sure beats whatever's in second place. And the irony of it, really, Tiffany, is that we live in the wealthiest country in the world. But we always have money problems. Everyone struggles with money. So some really simple tips that maybe can help people get themselves moving in the right direction. And it's nothing earth-shattering. It's nothing that's going to take a lot of sacrifice or time. One of the things that when I meet with people and we have the dialogue about where they are, where they want to be, where they've been, what they're struggling with, somewhere in that dialogue is always the comment, well, yes, God, I'd love to do that, but I just don't have any money. And my response always is, oh, no, that's not true. You have tons of money. The problem is, again, going back to the beginning, you're not really understanding how money should be working for you. A very simple tip. What I encourage people, and the example I look at people is I'd look at Tiffany and say, well, Tiffany, you're working? Yep. How much money do you make an hour? Oh, I make, and we'll say $10 an hour, just to keep the math simple. I say, well, you know what, Tiffany? I know right now that we can find you an extra $200-300 a month without even blinking an eye. And Tiffany goes, oh, that'd be great. How do we do that? And I look at her and I look at Tiffany and I say, well, here's what I just would suggest you do. But you know, it's like, you know, when you're standing in front of the crowd and you ask the question, who's ready for change? And every hand in the place goes up. And then you ask the follow-up question of, well, who's ready to change? And no hand goes up. I look at Tiffany and I say, well, Tiffany, here's what I'd like you to do. Every afternoon when you come home from work, I'd like you to reach into your